finds you all doing well and just enjoying this break. I certainly miss you all. Just the opportunity to get to see your smiling faces and high fives and fist bumps and hugs. But we're doing our best just to try to stay connected through this time and just come up with some creative ways to just engage you. And so today we're going to start Storytime Tuesdays. And I'm just going to grab some books off our bookshelf and each week share one with you. I hope you like it. So wherever you are, grab your family or your brother or your sister or grandma or grandpa, whoever you're with, and sit down and enjoy. So today I picked a book called Love Your Neighbor by Melody Carlson. I live in a house on Daffodil Lane where the kid next door is really a pain. Tim borrowed my bike and bent the front wheel, then said to me, "Hey, it's no big deal." And as if that's not enough, he frightened my cat by swinging a big wooden baseball bat. Just by an inch, he missed Tabby's head. But what scared me the most is what my grandma said. I complained to my grandma about this weird kid. I told her in detail of all that he did. She listened and smiled and nodded her head. But I almost croaked when I heard what she said. She took down her Bible up from her shelf and read, "Love your neighbor as you love yourself." I said to my grandma, "You've never met Tim. I'd gladly love anyone, but I can't love him." I waved bye to Grandma and went on my way. I hoped to forget all she had to say. Loving your neighbor may sound sweet and good, but not if your neighbor's named Timothy Wood. I wished I could move to an igloo somewhere where my next door neighbor's a big polar bear. I'd gladly invite the fine fellow for tea. He could sit by my fire and watch my TV. We could play checkers and police and crooks. Why, I'd even loan him my favorite books. To be a good neighbor, I'd surely love him. But please don't tell me I gotta love Tim. And what if I lived in the jungle? In loving my neighbor, I'd surely not bungle. Even if bunches of wild chimpanzees lived right next door, way up high in the trees, I'd let them go first when we swung on the vine. If they ate my bananas, I'd say, "Hey, that's fine." For monkeys don't know what good manners are for. And they couldn't be any worse than Tim Woods' next door. Or what if I lived on a boat with a sail, where my closest neighbor's a great big blue whale? I'd be just as good and as nice as could be. I'd surely love my neighbor and hope that he loved me. And what if the place that I called my home was the very same place where the elephants roam? I'd cut lots of grass and invite them to lunch. In the lake, I'd pour Kool-Aid to make purple punch. And if they forgot to say thank you or please, or didn't say bless you if somebody sneezed, I wouldn't worry. I'd just say, "That's all right. we'd be friendly neighbors and we'd never fight. Or what if I wandered up north on the loose, where my nearest neighbor was a long-legged moose? To be a good neighbor, I'd cook a fine meal of moose-friendly food, not that big of a deal. And even if 54 moose friends came too, I wouldn't be mad or make a to-do. Because he's my neighbor, I'd be nice to him. And ever so grateful he's nothing like Tim. I sat on my front porch and dreamed what I'd do if I lived in a cave or a big city zoo. And all I imagined, no matter how grim, seemed pretty good compared to old Tim. Then I heard an odd noise, and I glanced at Tim's place. And there sat my neighbor with tears on his face. I watched in surprise, and then I felt bad. I wondered what would make my neighbor so sad. I stood and I waved and I called out hello, then got off my porch and walked over real slow. "What's up?" I asked. "Is the world going to end?" He frowned, and then he replied, "I don't have one friend." I swallowed real hard, looked down at my shoes. I pondered, and then I wondered what I had to lose. He wasn't an elephant, a moose, or a whale. He couldn't leap trees or swing by his tail. Then all of a sudden, I wanted to see if I could love Tim the same way that I love me. I wasn't real sure about what he would think. He might laugh out loud or make a big stink. "Well, Tim," I began, "I'd like to be friends and get along better and make some amends." His eyes lit up as he said, "That's cool." And that's when I learned the golden rule. Now, most of the time, Tim and I have a blast, and I think that our friendship is one that will last. But sometimes we battle and both get defeated. That's when I remember how I like to be treated. And even on days when we just can't agree, I try to love Tim the same way I love me. And I keep these words in my heart and my head. Love your neighbor as yourself, just like Jesus said. Matthew 22:39. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. Have a great week.